James sat alone in the small control room of the Skywatch station, high up in the mountains. It was his night shift again. Most people thought his job was boring just listening for strange signals from space, but James liked the quiet. The stars above always gave him peace. That night, everything changed. A sharp tone echoed in his headphones. It didn't sound like anything he had heard before. He quickly sat up straight and pressed buttons to record it. The signal lasted only 8 seconds. Then stopped. James stared at the screen. The signal repeated just once, same pattern, same rhythm, not a natural sound. It was too clean, too sharp. He copied the file and sent it straight to Earth Space Command. Inside Earth Space Command, a group of top officers and scientists listened to the signal in silence. A soft hum, followed by prolonged beeps into quick ones. It was not random. A pattern always meant something. It's artificial, said Commander Reed, and it's not ours. Across the world, governments were warned. Satellites scanned the sky. Scientists ran tests. But no one had answers. Then the sky gave its answer. 3 days after the signal, giant shapes appeared near the moon, first blurry on radar, then clear as daylight. Huge ships, dark and strange in design. They moved without sound, without heat, like shadows from deep space. The world watched in fear. They sent a message, not with sound, but through Earth's satellites. Every screen lit up at once. Phones, televisions, tablets all showed one message in many languages. We are here. Surrender your planet. You belong to us now. People panicked. Cities went quiet. Some cried, some ran, some waited. But Earth had no answer ready. Its fleet of defense ships was still being built. Only a few small crafts orbited Earth, none strong enough to fight such giant ships. But deep in the orbital docks above Earth floated an old warship, half forgotten. Her name was the Valor. The Valor had not seen battle in many years. She was old, strong, and built in the last great space war. Some thought she should be retired. But one person still believed in her. Her name was Maria, the ship's captain. Maria was calm and quiet. She had seen war before. Her hands were steady, her eyes sharp. She was not a hero in stories. She was a leader who carried the weight of every choice. When the alien ships arrived, Maria was in her cabin, reading old reports. The red alert light blinked above her. She stood up, walked to the command deck, and looked at the screen. The alien ships floated like mountains in space. Are we going to run? Asked Tom, a young engineer. Maria looked at him. No, she said. We are going to stand. Maria called the crew together. Only 40 people were on board, half the full number. Many were young. Some had never seen real danger. We are the only ship ready, Maria told them. We can't match their size. But we don't need to. We have heart, and we have the stars on our side. Tom whispered to Lena, a pilot. She really thinks we can win? Lena didn't answer. She just looked at Maria, then at the old ship's walls. She had grown up hearing stories of the Valor in battle. Now she was part of its story. On Earth, leaders held long talks. Some wanted to wait. Others thought of sending a peace message. But when they learned Maria had powered up the Valor, many were shocked. She'll be destroyed, said one general. Or she'll remind them who we are, said another. In orbit, the Valor's engines glowed bright. Maria gave orders, short and clear. Shields up. Weapons checked. Engines warm. Are we going to fire first? Tom asked. No, Maria said. We will give them one chance. She sent a message to the alien ships. This is Earth Warship. Valor, leave our sky. You are not welcome here. There was silence. Then, from the alien lead ship, came a cold reply. One ship cannot stop us. Maria smiled a little. You've never met humans before, she whispered. As the alien fleet moved closer, Earth watched. Millions stared at screens. News channels broadcast the moment. Children sat with parents. Soldiers stood ready. Everyone waited for what would happen next. One small ship, one crew, against a fleet from beyond the stars. Tom sat by the engine room. He checked power levels again and again. Lena warmed the ship's small fighters. Maria stood at the center, her hand on the command screen. Outside, The stars burned bright. Then the alien fleet moved into formation. It was the sign of attack. Maria's voice rang across the Valor. "All hands, this is it. We hold the line." The old ship turned to face the fleet, like a lion standing before giants. In that moment, a silent message passed through the hearts of every crew member. If this was Earth's last stand, they would make it one the stars would never forget. The stars outside the window were calm, but inside the Valor, the air was full of tension. Every crew member knew the truth. They were Earth's only answer to the alien fleet. No one else was ready. No backup. No rescue. Just them. Captain Maria stood on the bridge, watching the enemy's ships move closer. They were massive, shining with strange lights, shaped like curved blades. Their engines left no trail. They moved like ghosts in space. "They're scanning us," said Lena, sitting at the pilot controls. "Let them look," Maria said. "Let them see the ship that won't move." Down in the engine room, Tom wiped sweat from his forehead. He checked power levels, rerouted energy lines, and made sure the old systems were stable. The Valor was strong, but age had made her stubborn. Some systems needed a firm hand. "Engines holding," he said over the comm. Maria's voice came back. "Good work, Tom. Stay ready." Tom looked at the control board. One red light still blinked, the forward rail cannon. He grabbed his tools and rushed to fix it. His hands moved fast. There was no time to waste. Across Earth, people watched the sky. News reports showed the Valor in orbit, facing the enemy alone. Some people cried. Some held hands. Others stood in silence. It was hard to believe one ship could protect the planet. In a quiet hospital room, an old man looked up at the screen. "That's the Valor," he whispered. "She's still fighting." His granddaughter sat beside him, eyes wide. "Can they win?" The old man smiled. "They don't need to win. They just need to remind the stars who we are." On the bridge, the crew moved with focus. Maria gave orders with calm strength. She knew fear was there, but she didn't let it show. She walked around the bridge, placing a hand on each shoulder. "You were chosen for a reason," she said. "Trust the ship, trust each other. We're not just a warship, we're Earth's voice." Lena nodded, ready to fly. Tom's voice came through the comm again. "Cannon online?" Maria smiled. "Let's show them what Earth remembers." The alien ships moved into position. The largest one opened its side ports. Strange machines floated out, scanning the Valor. One of them sent a pulse toward the ship. It hit the shields like a small wave. "Shields holding," said a young officer named Ben. "They're testing us," Maria said. "They want to see if we're afraid." She tapped the control screen and opened a direct channel. "This is Captain Maria of Earth Warship Valor. Leave now. This is your last warning." A pause. Then a reply came. The alien voice was cold and clear. "You are alone. You cannot stop what is coming." Maria looked around at her crew. "Then let's show them alone is enough." The first enemy shot came fast. A blue bolt of energy sliced through space, aimed at the Valor's left side. Lena turned the ship just in time. The blast grazed the shield, sending sparks across the screen. "Minor damage," Ben said. "No breach." "Return fire," Maria said. Tom pressed the cannon trigger. The rail cannon fired a burst of red-hot metal. It hit one of the smaller alien scouts, tearing through its side. The alien ship spun and broke into pieces. Cheers filled the bridge. "One down," Lena whispered. But more were coming. 3 alien ships surrounded the Valor. They fired in waves. Maria ordered sharp turns, energy shifts, and time counterattacks. The ship danced between blasts. She moved like a fighter, not a tired old warship. Maria stood tall. "Keep moving. Stay smart. Use their size against them." Tom rerouted power to shields when needed. Lena flew through tight spaces, spinning and diving. Every crew member worked like part of a living machine. Then the moment came. Maria saw an opening between 2 enemy ships. She gave the order. Straight through. Full thrust. The Valor charged forward. The rail cannon fired again. 1 alien ship exploded. The shock wave pushed the other off course. "Second target destroyed," Ben said. Maria nodded. Stay alert. They won't make the same mistake twice. On Earth, hope began to grow. People watched the screen with wide eyes. Messages of support were sent to the ship. Children drew pictures of the Valor. Some whispered thanks. Some cried with relief. A little boy in a shelter said, "That ship is fighting for me." And he was right. Back in orbit, the enemy fleet paused. They had lost 2 ships. The rest of the fleet moved slower now, more careful. Their leader, watching from the command ship, did not expect resistance from one old warship. The alien leader sent a message again. "Your ship is strong, but your end is certain. Why fight?" Maria answered with a calm voice, "Because we are human, and this is our home." Inside the ship, the crew rested for a short moment. Tom brought energy readings to Maria. "We can hold for a while longer," he said, "but we'll need a better plan." Maria looked at the star map. She pointed at the dark side of the moon. "If we leave them behind the moon, their sensors won't work as well. We know this space. They don't." Lena smiled. "You want to trick them?" Maria gave a small nod. "Let's remind them that Earth never fights fair." The plan was risky, but the crew trusted Maria. The Valor moved slowly at first, giving the look of damage. The alien ships followed, thinking they had their prey. The ship passed around the moon, into shadow. Then Maria gave the signal. Now, the Valor turned sharply, fired a full blast at the nearest ship, and used the moon's pull to spin behind the second. With speed and power, it fired again. The enemy didn't see it coming. Another alien ship was gone. The others pulled back. Silence filled the stars. Inside the Valor, the crew sat still. Their faces showed surprise and pride. "They're retreating," Ben said. "For now," Maria replied. "They'll come back, bigger, smarter." Tom looked around. "Then we get ready." Maria looked out the window at Earth shining below. "We are Earth's answer," she said, "and we just spoke." The stars were quiet, but the space around Earth was no longer still. Pieces of broken alien ships floated in the blackness. Fire and metal drifted in slow motion, a sign that Earth had fought back. The Valor had done what no one thought possible. It had stopped the enemy, at least for a little while. Inside the warship, the crew moved quickly. Repairs were being made. Shields were being recharged. Energy was low, but spirits were high. Tom worked in the engine room with tools spread all around him. He checked power lines, cooling vents, and fuel levels. His hands were covered in grease, and sweat dripped from his face. "How are we holding together?" Maria's voice came through the speaker. "We're not pretty," Tom said, "but we're still standing. Give me 1 more hour, and I'll give you more power." Maria smiled faintly. "Make it 30 minutes. On the bridge, Lena studied the radar screen. The enemy fleet had pulled back behind the moon's far side. 3 ships were destroyed, but more were waiting. Bigger ones, heavily armed. "They're not gone," Lena said. "They're thinking, watching." Maria nodded. "They won't underestimate us again." Ben looked at her. "Should we call for backup?" Maria shook her head. "There is no backup. Earth's fleet is not ready. We're still the only warship in the sky." Lena sat straighter. "Then we stay ready." In space, the enemy fleet moved again. The lead ship, larger than any Earth had ever seen, glowed with red lights. Strange symbols ran across its surface like writing. It sent out small scouts shaped like flying blades, fast, quiet, and deadly. Maria watched the radar. "They're testing our edge. They want to know how sharp we really are." The Valor rose higher into orbit. Its engines burned blue, and its weapons turned toward the sky. Maria stood on the bridge like a mountain in a storm. "All hands to battle stations," she said. The crew took their places. The first alien scout came in fast. Lena gripped the flight controls. "Here comes the first dance." She moved the Valor. With a quick spin, dodging the scout's beam, the rail cannon fired from the side of the ship. It missed, but only by a little. Tom shouted through the comm, "You've got full power to the left thrusters. Try again." Lena swung the ship into a curve. The alien scout looped back. Then it fired again. This time, the beam hit the rear shields. Sparks flew on the bridge. The ship shook hard, Shields at 80%, Ben called. Return fire. Maria ordered. This time the cannon hit. The scout shattered into pieces. One down, Maria said. They'll send more. She was right, for more scouts came in formation, fast and silent. The Valor turned to face them. The bridge was filled with lights and warning sounds. Switch to auto-tracking, Maria said. Focus on speed, not power. Lena flew between to enemy ships. The cannon fired again and again. One scout exploded. Another clipped the Valor's wing, causing sparks inside. Ben shouted, shields at 60. Hold damage on the left side. Tom rerouted power from the lights to the shield system. The engine room went dark, but the shields held. Good thinking, Tom, Maria said. The third scout was hit by a missile. The fourth turned away and retreated. For a moment, silence returned. But then the sky lit up again. From the dark edge of space, the giant lead ship moved forward. It was wide, long, and covered in armor, bigger than 10 Earth ships. Its lights glowed like angry eyes. Ben's voice dropped. It's coming. Maria stood still. Then let's welcome it. The enemy ship opened its front. A huge cannon began to charge. Red light gathered at its center. Maria gave her orders quickly. Lena, turn the ship sideways. Tom, give me every drop of power we have. Ben, prepare countermeasures. The Valor turned in space. Its engines roared. The alien ship fired. A beam of red light cut through space, heading straight toward the Valor. At the last second, Lena spun the ship downward. The beam scraped the top edge, causing a blast that rocked the ship, but it missed the core. We're still here, Maria said. Tom shouted from below. That took half our systems offline. Then we fight with the other half, Maria replied. The Valor fired all its weapons, cannons, missiles, and beams lit up the sky. The shots hit the enemy ship's side. Small fires broke out. Its shields flickered. But it didn't stop. It's too big, Lena said. Too strong. Maria stepped forward. Big ships make big targets. She marked a weak point on the enemy's belly just beneath the main cannon. Aim there. All weapons. One full blast. Tom powered up the rail cannon. The ship's lights dimmed. Every system focused on that single shot. Lena lined it up. Maria said. Now, the rail cannon fired. The metal rod flew at high speed, hitting the weak point. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the enemy ship cracked open, light pouring from inside. A shock wave burst out. The alien ship drifted, broken. Cheers filled the Valor. But Maria raised her hand. Not yet. Look at the radar. New dots appeared on the screen. More enemy ships, at least 7. All moving fast, all heading toward Earth. Ben whispered, there's more. Maria took a deep breath. They came thinking Earth was weak. Let's show them what we're made of. Tom spoke through the comm. The engines are running hot, but they'll hold. Lena said, then we hold too. Maria looked out the window at the stars. They started the fight, but we will write the story. On Earth, people cheered as news of the battle spread. But they also saw the new wave of enemy ships. Fear returned, but hope did not fade. A young girl pointed to the sky and said, the Valor is still up there. And her mother replied, then we still have a chance in space. The Valor turned once more to face the enemy. She was scarred. She was tired. But she was not done. The stars watched in silence, and the battle for Earth was just beginning. The Valor floated in silence above Earth, but inside the ship, the sound of repairs filled the halls. Sparks flew from broken panels. Pipes hissed with steam. Lights flickered. The ship had survived the first clash, but just barely. Tom sat on the floor in the engine room, holding a damaged wire. His hands were shaking, not from fear, but from tiredness. He had not slept in a long time. He looked around at the smoke-stained walls and cracked panels. She's holding together, he whispered, but just by thread and tape. He stood up and picked up his tools again. On the bridge, Maria stared out the wide front window. Earth looked peaceful below, blue and white with clouds. But space was not peaceful. 7 enemy ships had appeared on the edge of the radar. They were not scouts. They were warships. We need time, said Ben, reading the radar screen. Even 1 hour would help. Maria nodded. We don't have an hour. Lena turned from the pilot's seat. What do we do now? Captain Maria didn't answer. At first, she walked to the center of the bridge and stood still. Her eyes were far away, as if she was looking into the past. I remember a battle, she said, years ago. I was just a pilot then, not a leader. The crew grew quiet. They had never heard Maria talk about her past before. We were fighting off Jupiter's moons, she said. It was a long war. Many ships were lost. One by one, the fleet fell back. My commander told us to run. She paused and touched the edge of the control panel. But one ship didn't run. A ship called the Iron Hand. They stayed. They fought. Alone gave us time to escape. Ben asked, did they survive? Maria looked down. No, but because of them, thousands did. I never forgot that ship. She looked around at her crew now. Today, we are the Iron Hand. We are the ship that stands so others can live. Lena turned back to the controls. Her hands were steady. Then let's make it count. Tom's voice came over the comm. Engines are back. Not at full power, but they'll move. Just don't ask for anything fancy. Maria smiled. No tricks. Just heart, Ben said. Weapons at 70%. Shields at half. That's enough. Maria replied. Down in the hangar bay, the small fighters stood ready. Earth's last short-range ships, fast, light, and deadly in close battle. Maria walked in and looked at them. 2 young pilots stood near the ships, waiting for orders. I need you to fly cover, Maria said. Keep the pressure off the Valor. Only return if ordered. Can you do that? The taller pilot, a quiet man named Ravi, nodded. We'll fly like fire, Captain. The second pilot, a girl named Joe, gave a thumbs up. Let's make them remember our names. Maria watched them lift off and disappear into the black sky. The enemy ships moved closer. They formed a wide curve around Earth. Their weapons began to glow. This was not a warning. This was an attack. Maria stood tall. Battle stations. Full alert. Lena moved the ship forward. The Valor glided into position. The enemy ships spread out, firing beams across space. Red and blue lights lit up the stars. Shields holding, said Ben. But not for long. Maria looked at Lena. Let's move. The ship dodged left and fired from the right. It spun through the crossfire. Weapons blasting. One enemy ship took a hit and pulled back. The 2 small Earth fighters flew fast around them, shooting at weak spots. They're trying to box us in, Lena said. Then we break the box, Maria replied. In the engine room. Tom worked fast. A cooling pipe burst, spraying steam. He tied it off and redirected the flow. We're heating up. He said, engines might shut down. Give me 5 more minutes, Maria answered. That's all I've got, Tom replied. Outside, the battle grew more intense. The Valor was hit again. Sparks flew across the bridge. Ben was thrown from his seat but got back up. Shields at 20%, he said. Another beam hit the ship's side. The left cannon shut down. Double quotes Lena. Take us under the largest ship, Maria said. Close range. Lena blinked. Are you sure? They won't expect it. The Valor dived down, rushing under the enemy ship. It moved close, almost too close. The main cannon fired upward. The blast tore through the enemy's underbelly. One ship fell from orbit, burning as it fell into Earth's atmosphere. Ravi's voice came over the radio. We got another one. That's a down, Joe added. Still flying, still angry. Maria gave a short laugh. Good flying. Stay sharp. But then Ravi's signal broke. His ship had taken a hit. It spun out of control. I've lost my wing, Ravi shouted. Maria spoke quickly. Joe, pull back. Get him if you can. I'm going in, Joe said. Hold on, Ravi. On the bridge. Ben looked at Maria. We're losing people. Maria nodded. But not hope. Tom's voice returned. Engines will blow if we keep pushing. I can shut them down. Or risk a burn. Maria closed her eyes for a second. Then she said, risk it. Tom didn't argue. He just got to work. Lena turned the ship again. The Valor spun between enemy blasts, shooting back with every chance. The enemy fleet was now down to 4 ships, but the Valor was losing power. Fast. Maria gave one last order. Aim everything at the lead ship. All weapons, no holding back. Ben set the targets. Tom sent the last of the energy to the main gun. The ship shook. The lights dimmed. Then the cannon fired. The shot hit the enemy ship's core. It exploded in a burst of light. The enemy fleet stopped moving. They didn't flee. They didn't shoot. They just paused. Then, one by one, the remaining ships turned away and began to drift back into space. Silence filled the bridge. Ben spoke softly. Are they leaving? Maria didn't answer at first. Then she said, maybe they've seen enough. Lena looked at the cracked window. They'll remember us. Maria nodded. That's all we needed. On Earth, people cheered. They danced. In the streets, they cried with joy. Children waved pictures of the Valor. The world had watched the sky and saw something no one would ever forget. An old woman stood in a park and looked up. They fought like the stories, she said. Like legends, inside the Valor, the crew sat tired but proud. The ship was hurt, but not broken. The battle was over for now. Maria sat in her chair and looked at her crew. You fought well, she said. You fought like Earth, and the stars above would remember. The Valor was hurt, but still alive. The stars outside shone cold and distant, but inside the ship, hope burned bright. The alien fleet had retreated, but Maria knew this was not the end. They were clever. They would come back stronger. We need a plan, Maria said, standing at the command center. Her voice was steady, but the weight of the fight was clear in her eyes. Tom, the engineer, nodded. Our weapons and engines are barely holding. We cannot face them head-on again. Ben, the young radar officer, studied the screen. There is a place we can use to our advantage. The asteroid field near Mars. It is dense and confusing. The alien sensors will struggle there. Maria looked at the map. The field was full of rocks, big and small, drifting slowly. Good. We know the stars better than they do. Lena, the pilot, smiled. We can lure them in. Trap them like fish. The crew moved quickly. Repairs were made. Weapons were checked. The Valor's hull was scarred, but her spirit was unbroken. Maria called the team to the bridge. This will be dangerous. We will lead the alien fleet into the asteroid field. They will lose their advantage. Then we strike. Tom frowned. It's risky. We could get caught in the rocks ourselves. We have no choice, Maria said. Earth depends on us. Lena started the engines. The ship moved out of Earth's orbit and headed toward Mars. The journey was tense. The crew worked in silence. Every star they passed felt like a countdown. The closer they got to the asteroid field, the louder the alarms became. Enemy ships are following, Ben said. Maria nodded. Keep steady. We don't want to fight until the trap is set. The Valor's engines burned bright as it flew through the dark space. The giant rocks of the asteroid field grew closer. The alien fleet followed, larger and more cautious than before. They knew the Valor was dangerous. Their ships moved slower, watching for traps. Maria gave the order to reduce speed and move carefully. We are almost there, she said. Tom's voice came from below. The ship is holding, but the engines are hot. Keep cooling systems running, Maria said. When they reached the asteroid field, the Valor disappeared among the rocks. The stars were blocked by massive stones, some as big as mountains. The alien ships entered slowly. Their sensors flickered and failed. Their long-range scanners could not see through the rocks. They had to rely on close sensors and slow movements. Maria grinned. Now the game begins. The Valor flew with skill. Lena steered through tight spaces, dodging rocks that could tear the ship apart. The aliens followed, but their giant ships had trouble. Many hit rocks and slowed down. Watch the rear, Maria said. Don't let them surround us. Tom worked fast, repairing shields that took small hits. Ben reported. One alien ship is damaged, losing power. Maria ordered. Target it, fire the rail cannon. The weapon roared, sending a metal projectile through space. It hit the ship's side. Sparks flew. The enemy ship slowed and drifted into a rock. The other alien ships were confused. Their formation broke apart. The smaller fighters sent to help were trapped or lost in the rocks. Maria saw her chance. Fire all weapons, focus on their weak points, the Valor's cannons, lasers, and missiles fired in waves. The explosions lit the dark space. The alien ships were hit hard. One by one, they fell. The battle was fierce. Rocks flew everywhere. The Valor took some hits. One asteroid hit the left wing, causing a loud crack. Shields are down to 30%, Ben said. Maria stayed calm. We are close to winning. Keep fighting. Tom's voice came again. Engines are overheating. If we push harder, we may lose power. Maria made a decision. Push engines to maximum. We finish this now. Lena pushed the ship faster. The Valor darted between asteroids, firing weapons. The last two alien ships tried to escape. Maria gave the final order. Fire the rail cannon, aim for the engines. The metal rod flew fast. It hit one ship's engine, causing a huge explosion. The ship spun out of control and crashed into an asteroid. The last enemy ship turned and fled. It was damaged and scared. The Valor was still standing. The crew cheered quietly. They were tired but proud. Maria looked at the stars. They will remember this day. Earth is not easy to take. Ben smiled. The stars will tell stories about us. Tom wiped sweat from his face. The ship held. We held. Lena looked out the window. We fight for Earth, for everyone down there. The crew settled in for rest, but Maria knew this was only the beginning. The alien fleet would return. They would come with more ships, more power. But the Valor would be ready, because Earth's spirit was strong, because one small ship could change the fate of many, and because some battles were not just about weapons, but about hope. The Valor drifted in the quiet space beyond Mars. The battle in the asteroid field was over. The crew was tired and worn. The ship was scarred from the fight, but still alive. Yet Maria knew the war was far from finished. In the command center, the air was heavy with silence. Everyone was thinking about the cost of what they had done. The fight was theirs alone. Earth's other ships were still building. No help was coming soon. Maria looked around the bridge at her crew. They were young, brave, but they had already lost much. Ben was checking the shields. They are weak. We won't hold long if they come back now. Tom was fixing a broken pipe in the engine room. Engines are hot. We push them too far. If we go again, something may break. Lena sat quietly in the pilot's chair, staring at the stars. Her hands rested on the controls, but her mind was far away. Maria's heart ached for her crew. She understood what it meant to stand alone. Flashbacks came to her, memories of an old friend, Lena's father, who had died in a similar battle years ago. He had been a pilot too, brave, kind, and full of hope. Maria had promised him she would protect the next generation. Now she had to keep that promise. She walked to Lena and placed her hand on the young pilot's shoulder. We are not alone, Maria said softly. We have each other. Lena nodded slowly. But it's hard. Captain, sometimes I wonder if we can really win. Maria smiled gently. Winning is not about never falling. It's about standing up again. Suddenly, alarms blared through the ship. Red lights flashed. Ben shouted, "Incoming fire." The crew jumped into action. The enemy had returned. The alien fleet had come back. This time, larger and angrier. Maria stood tall. Battle stations, hold the line. Lena gripped the controls as the Valor turned to face the attackers. The enemy ships fired beams of energy, lighting up the darkness. The shields flickered and cracked. Shields down to 10%. Ben called. Tom yelled from the engine room. Engines overheating. We can't take much more. Maria's voice rang out, calm but fierce. We fight with what we have. Protect the ship. Protect each other. The battle raged. The Valor was hit again and again. Sparks flew. The ship shook. Lena dodged blasts with skill and courage. Tom worked fast to keep engines running. Ben patched shields where he could. But the cost was high. One blast hit near the reactor room. Lena heard a cry. It was Lena's best friend, a young crew member named Mira. She had been helping with repairs but was caught in the blast. Maria rushed to the scene. Mira was hurt but alive. She smiled weakly. I'm okay, Captain. Maria took her hand. You're stronger than you know. The fight continued. The Valor's weapons fired back. The alien ships began to slow. Taking heavy damage. Maria saw an opening. We charge. She ordered. Full power to the rail cannon. Tom grunted. Engines at limit, Captain. We have no choice. The Valor fired. The rail cannon's metal rod flew through space and hit the enemy lead ship. The blast was huge. The enemy ship shook and broke apart. The remaining ships retreated once more. The bridge was quiet. Maria looked at her crew. They were exhausted but alive. She spoke softly. This is the cost of standing alone. We fight not just for ourselves, but for everyone on Earth. Lena wiped tears from her eyes. I want to believe we can win. Maria smiled. We will win, because we never give up. On Earth, news of the battle spread. People prayed for the Valor. Children drew pictures of the brave crew. The world waited and hoped. Maria stood at the window of the ship, looking down. At the blue planet, we are the shield, she said. The stars will remember the ship that stood alone, and in the silence of space. The Valor prepared for what was to come. The Valor floated quietly above Earth. The stars shone bright and clear. The battle was not over, but the ship and its crew had become a symbol of promise that Earth would never surrender. Captain Maria stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the blue planet below. She thought about all they had faced. The enemy had come with power and fear, but the Valor had stood strong. Alone, against all odds, her crew was tired but full of hope. They had seen their ship take hits that should have ended her, yet she survived. So did they? Ben worked at the radar station. Captain, the enemy fleet is gathering again. This time, they bring a new weapon. Maria nodded. What kind of weapon? Ben looked worried. It is a large ship with a strong energy cannon. It can destroy shields with one blast. Maria's jaw tightened. We must be ready. Lena, the pilot, took a deep breath. We have fought so long. We can fight longer. Tom, the engineer, added, the ship needs more repairs. We cannot wait much longer. Maria smiled. Then we repair fast and fight faster. The Valor moved closer to Earth's orbit. The enemy fleet followed, dark and dangerous. The new ship stood at the front, glowing with red energy. Its cannon charged slowly, ready to fire. Maria gave orders to the crew. Focus on defense. We cannot take a direct hit from that cannon. The ship shook as the enemy fired first. A red beam struck the Valor's shields. The energy crackled and sparks flew. Shields down to 50%. Ben said. Maria knew. They had little time. We must get close. Hide in Earth's shadow. Then strike. Lena turned the ship. The Valor moved fast, slipping behind the planet. The enemy ship fired again, but the beam missed. Hitting empty space, the crew held their breath. The Valor's weapons powered up. Maria gave the command. Fire all weapons. Hit their weak spots. The cannons and missiles blazed. The enemy ship shook but did not fall. Ben warned. The cannon is charging again. We have seconds. Maria decided quickly. Prepare the rail cannon. Aim for their weapon. Tom powered up the rail cannon. The ship hummed with energy. Lena lined up the shot. The beam flew straight and fast. It hit the enemy cannon just as it fired. The energy blast exploded in space, far from the Valor. The enemy ship was damaged. Its cannon shut down. The enemy fleet grew confused. Without their main weapon, they lost power and control. Maria smiled. Now we push. The Valor fired with all its strength. The enemy ships fell one by one. The stars were filled with fire and metal. The enemy commander sent a message. Your ship is strong, but your people are weak. Surrender. Maria answered firmly. We do not surrender. We protect our home. The enemy ships began to retreat. The battle was over. The crew cheered quietly. They were tired but proud. Maria looked at her team. You have fought with honor. You have shown Earth's strength. Ben smiled. The stars will remember us. Lena added. We are not just a ship. We are a symbol. Tom nodded. A ship they could not break. Back on Earth, People celebrated. They saw the sky filled with hope. They knew that as long as the Valor flew, Earth was safe. Maria stood on the bridge and looked at Earth. We have won this battle, but the war is not over. The Valor was ready, the crew was ready, and Earth's spirit was stronger than ever.